Okay. We're passing arrays of guys. So if I want to do guys that are like 2 squares north, and I guess we want to do at least like 2 squares laterally and then 2 squares vertically, right? Which is the square root of 8 distance, which is nice and easy. That's 2 root 2, right? Um, which is like, we'll say 3.5 for nearby here, and we'll say okay. How did I get my awesome tan? I just tan really easily now. I don't actually understand what it is. Maybe it's that I have a lot of vitamin D now or something. And that, so my skin says we don't need any more. When I was very young, I did not hardly tan at all. Now I do. I mean, I was just like driving places in my car the past few days during the day, basically, in California. Don't turn orange. Well, I mean, I'm basically have already turned orange as far as many unreasonable people are concerned. So, I mean, what do you want? I mean, what do you want? No, monsters are not going to aggro each other. I'm putting in the thing where they will aggro on you if you can fall into their square, right? Because I want that. Like it feels wrong that that is not a thing. Do I drive a convertible? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. So, this set goblin primary enemy ID is like, okay, if there's a wall in the way of the flat. Okay. So then if he's vertical, though, if there's not a wall there, I mean, should he aggro at you if you're below? I mean, I guess. That seems weird, but yeah, okay. Um, so then we're going to say Okay. So this is a little bit flawed because we've now included people up to 3 units away. Okay, so in which case this halfway thing isn't good, right? Less than 2.1. Okay, so that gives us the halfway. This is a little bit weird. This check is not really right. So if you're above, then it's fine if there's a wall there. Or no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm just visualizing in my mind. So the theory is if you can fall directly to him. So really it's like, okay, is all of these, like I want to walk, basically is the column clear up to the position of the character. Now the problem is it could be up or could be down. Do I want to do one of these lame if statements? Okay, let's just say okay. So there might be a better way to do this, but I'm just going to say num steps is cast floor of abs delta.z plus 0.5, right? So we're rounding down, but we're just, if there's a little bit of float error here or something, we don't want to miss that step. So number of steps, right? Okay. Okay, so we actually can put this in here, and then this in here, and then there, and then there. So we're basically going to say, look, if there's a wall at pos plus halfway, let's just say okay. So halfway, to test is halfway to test.z plus equals float of I, okay, times sine. Let's just say I times sine, right? So sine is if x delta.z is greater than 0, then 1.0 else minus 1.0. So we're getting the number of steps in an integer so we can iterate, but then we're getting the sign back. So yeah, you see what I'm saying. Okay. So if there's a wall there, continue. And I think that's it. Maybe. Question mark. Right? Let's try that out. Is the distance doing square root? Yeah, that's Euclidean distance. There. Okay. So let's just go to like here. I feel like we're gonna maybe go through some iterations here. So let's make this our level that we start on for a little bit. We're gonna get rid of some things. Actually, we probably want 2 characters, come to think of it. So let's get rid of some things. We're gonna get some monsters. 1 monster to start. And we're gonna be like aggroing the monster, all right? Wait, why did that aggro? Fuck. Yeah, okay. So we when I expanded the distance, see, already it's wrong. That's fine. This distance is only supposed to be I think that's correct. Right? Okay, hold on. This is not right. Let's just do this. We're going to want that. So, actually, we just want to say why am I doing C style? Right? I think maybe 2.1 is too high. Let's see. Okay, so this seems correct so far. That's correct as well. Okay, so although the square that he turned to, we're going to want some nuance there. Okay, so what about this? So this actually should not aggro the monster because there's a square there. It did. It shouldn't have. So we need to check that. Why? Why? Why, Black Dynamite? Why? Okay, does it... Yeah, and this totally fails. Totally fails. I screwed all sorts of things up by changing this. I didn't use the toTest variable. That's a good point. It still didn't work, though. It is true that that's not what I intended to do. But even with just halfway there, it should have frickin' worked. So this is a redundant if as currently stated. So we might take that out. How's the rocket ship status? No idea. It's just the same picture of the rocket ship that's been going for 18 hours. Okay. Actually, right, we'll worry about diagonals in a bit, because that rule is going to be more nuanced. Anyway, so this should be greater than or equal to 1.0, probably, or greater than or equal to 0. It doesn't really matter, because I would be 0 in that case, but I just prefer to not make it negative. Okay. Vertical offset steps. Floor of absolute value of delta dot z. So in this case, it should be 1 to 1.5 to 1 to integer 1. We should be going 0 to 1. And we should test I times sine. Yeah, I don't understand the problem. So we may have to debugger it because I don't exactly know. Maybe it's fine. All right. So, see what happens. Why are we not starting up? Why did that go so slowly? That was like Visual Studio calling Microsoft to ask if it's allowed to run my program. What is even happening? All right. So, yes, he is aggroing. I don't know why. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this dude so that we have maximal simple. We're going to run. Okay, and we're going to go, what function is this? Set goblin primary. So, yeah, we're gonna just see. It's gonna be something dumb. Watch. It's gonna be something super dumb. It's a guy. Prior should be -1 or 0 or something. Yeah, okay. We don't have a best distance. It is greater than 1.5. We have a delta. The delta.z should be 1. 2. 2. Oh, right, because I changed it to be extra high. Duh, it's 2, as you can see. Okay, so boom, boom. Flat length should be 2. Yeah, okay. Delta.x or delta.y is 0. Flat length is less than 2.1. Halfway, right, is 8,13, right, and pos is 7,13. So that's correct. So it's the first square to the right of the dude. Okay. Sine should be 1. It is. Okay, great. Everything is as expected so far. Vertical offset steps. Stippes. 2. That's correct. Okay. 2 test. So we have halfway. Oh, guys, the continue is... So, if you want to succeed in the games industry, I don't know. Go do something else, really. He maybe should aggro here. That's an interesting question. Probably he should, because so we can work on that. But yeah. Okay. So this is also going to aggro, which is great. Well, that does. Okay. But this one also, yes, that's what we want right there. That's what we didn't have before that we want. The point being, if this guy's facing a different way and you step there, he'll alert. That's what I wanted out of this. What was the issue with the continue? You know, I just did that because the other code had continue, but like I added a new loop, so I was continuing from the wrong loop. Boom. Okay. So this is what we wanted. Now the question is, does this break any of our levels? Don't think it should. Any of the ones that work. So this one didn't even have a dude, so that's fine. The first 4 here are going to be the ones that work. Why is this stalling? Okay, that worked. That worked. That worked. That worked. I don't know what's taking so long in the debug build there. Okay. So that's good that we didn't wreck any levels. So now I guess we want to aggro. Like, there's a lot of things that I could get picky about in the aggro rule. And I'm wondering, do I get picky about it or do I just procrastinate? And I think the answer is I get picky about it, because otherwise it's going to be one of these things that drags on forever and sits in the back of my mind. And I'm like, oh, maybe someday I'll do that thing and see if I like it. And it's like, no, we're just going to do it today. We are just going to do it and we'll see. When exploring the possibilities of a space of a game design, how do you choose between two trajectories, both interesting but fairly distinct? I mean, what if you don't know, you just have to investigate. What do you mean, how do you choose? Like, if you don't know, you do what you think is going to work better or be more interesting. Like, it's not like if you don't know, therefore you will do nothing. No, you just investigate. Like, it's very natural. Very natural. Okay. I like this level. Okay, so let's go back to here. And I think the thing is that I want this to aggro the dude. Right? So, like, we can do a similar check. So this shouldn't aggro him if there's a wall there, right? So, like, that should not aggro him, which it doesn't. This should, because, like, you're about to jump on him. So now I can put that in with a similar loop to the one that we were doing. And actually, I could just, okay, this could be a fairly small modification. So instead of calling this halfway, let's call this like a column, right? Did I get that? Yeah. So here's the thing. If flat length is less than 2.0, right? Okay, column is pos. If flat len is greater than 1.1, right? So we go up or down above the monster, and then we add an extra unit in that direction if you're further away. Okay. If you're in a 2x movement beam and you're 2 away from the monster, should they aggro? My theory right now is that they don't really know about beams and stuff, right? Because, like, if we get into the business of what all can happen with the different characters, it's bananas. We don't, like, it gets really complicated. Nice. 30 minutes. Nice. Okay. Let's make sure that this still works. That does. Good. Let's make sure that this still works, or doesn't work, right? It shouldn't aggro yet. But this should aggro. Yeah. See? This is kind of makes sense to the brain. All right. What happens when we make the opposite situation? This also should work, although this is not really a scenario that's going to come up in the levels. We programmed all this symmetrically, so like, yeah. I mean, I guess that's fine, right? Okay, this one is wrong though. This one should definitely aggro if the neighbor one aggroes. It doesn't because we're standing on some stuff. So maybe maybe we only check the above case here. Like if we're on top of a hill and the dude's below us, it makes sense that we would aggro, I guess. Like this is just weird. But we're not doing that because we're going into the one column thing and saying, oh, he can't go under. Okay. So but only if going upward. So I'm going to put that note because right down here, we're going to say if sign is less than 0, I can't type. If sign is less than 0 and flat len is less than 1.1, vertical offset steps equals 0. Downward skip. So we're essentially just checking if the monster's not embedded in a wall. Okay, we sort of also said that this was not a thing. Okay. So still aggroed. That's good. That's, I guess, makes sense because we're 1 square away. Good, good. Not good. Okay, but if he's higher up, it should be too high, right? Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, because that's fucking... So what I'm thinking of here, so in general, like with the Bard and Charming and stuff, there's a radius 2 limit on things. Here there happens to be a radius 3 because of the way I programmed it, but I don't think that's good. Like, I don't want the aggro rule to be complicated. But, like, this sort of is what I'm doing to make it intuitive. Yeah, so he won't aggro down here at all. Lookup table, no. No lookup table. Because it's not... You mean lookup table including all the possible combinatorics of, like, walls in the vicinity? That would be a big mess. That would be a big mess. Okay, I think this part of it is good. Now, the part that I want to work on is... So I think this will make more sense on flat ground, right? Actually, I should go test the levels again. But, so I think when I go diagonally like this, there's a question of which way should he turn, right? Because there's 2 squares that are equally far, right? And so I think right now we're picking an arbitrary one or maybe the closest one. But I think it should be determined by which way is the guy facing, right? Like if I'm going here, then I think he should probably aggro south or turn south because he's kind of intercepting me and he'll be facing more toward me, right? Sort of. Which is what would happen, right? If, I don't know, let's say if he's aggroed over there and then no, he still doesn't do that. Well, it's what would happen if he was already south. Like, that looks like he's more ready to intercept me coming in the square, sort of. Except his stance is opposite what I would prefer. But, Whereas here, I feel like he should turn the other way because I'm sort of going into that square. You know what I mean? Like, this should matter which way I come in, and it currently doesn't. Now, the problem is, what about when there's two characters? But yeah. And then the other problem is, what if one of those squares is filled? So there's got to be like the preferred square and then the offhand square, right? Why not just rotate him 45 degrees? Because of gameplay reasons. Because the whole point of what we're doing is having his rotation matter, and it's got to be cardinal rotation. What if the player gets turned on the spot? That is pretty hard to arrange. I guess it could happen. If that happens, the monster should probably turn, right? That would actually be a funny level. Can a monster kill two people at the same time? Yes. What if the character in the southwest corner of the perimeter is facing east and the monster is facing south? And the character pivots to face north. Should the monster move? I mean, it should turn, yeah. It's just characters can't just turn like that either, though, right? Usually. There's a way you could make it happen. There's a few ways you could make it happen, but it's not a natural thing to happen. Have the monster look at... It doesn't matter where the monster looks. We're working on gameplay right now. We're working on gameplay, not visuals. Didn't you want monster not to aggro if a block above his head? So in this case, here, he shouldn't aggro. So I'm not sure. I don't think that will happen. I guess we should test it more thoroughly. And then, like I was saying, we should go back and do those levels. But like, yeah, see, this is fine. However, here he should aggro because I can jump down next to him. It's a little weird because you're like, how can he see me? But whatever. It's... Don't bother me about the rotations, please. I mean, I don't want to sit here and explain it for half an hour. Like what we're doing a very specific thing to solve a very specific problem so that we can make a specific set of levels. Okay. Let me get a snack and then we'll continue a little bit. I'm just going to keep jumping in here to prove that programs work. Okay. Okay. So What if the thief starts up there? That should be fine. I mean, the goblin will not aggro. I guess that's maybe... I guess it's maybe... We're going to say in this case that the goblin just can't see the thief or something. Because, like, I don't want to deal with this one. I don't think it's going to come up. But, yeah, like, you can jump there. He'll get you while you're falling. It's just weird to have him aggro when there's an entire block of stuff between you and him. Like, that's weird. Like, we explicitly... Actually... So we explicitly avoid that case, like here, for example. So even though the goblin normally aggroes when you're 1 square away, if there's a wall, he doesn't. Right? So if you're in the next room or whatever. If you make the upper platform larger, does it turn that way? I don't know. Like, people keep asking questions. I don't understand what they're asking. This is a hard, like, I don't know. It's just my brain is tired of trying to map Twitch chat onto specific things. Also that are in the past, right? Because, like, I'm sure I changed the level since that comment. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, snack so that I have more brain cells. And then I guess I want to do this turning thing. It's a little bit weird, though. Like you could, it's very hard, but you could end up in a case with a character facing away. In which case, he should aggro toward the left. So, like, away, let's just make that happen, right? An easy way for that to happen is, they're, of course, complicated. You could teleport to there or something, but if I just start here, right? So, there... He really should be facing the other way, especially in this case, I think. Okay, so let me look at the code where we actually turn, because here we just pick who's the closest guy. And then... There's a separate place. Yeah. So we say turn toward enemy position. And that is going to do some stuff. It's not going to have enough information. Let's look at this code for a bit. We're going to get some tea on deck. It's going to be real good. Real good. We are currently on methane vent stage. Her. See, this is not good. Oh, this is just strictly vertical. I see. So we get the theta to the delta. And then so I kind of want to burn down this code and redo it. I mean, the part that picks the angle. The rest of it is fine. With the part that picks the angle, I think what I want to do is say, hey, either you're diagonal or you're not, right? If you're not diagonal, this is only one thing, right? If you are diagonal, then we want to pick the two directions, right? And figure out which one of those is closer to the front of the character. About 12 minutes. So, yeah. We've got a fresh chocolate bar to celebrate a spaceship launch. I'm changing my Twitch name to X Choco Bars because I eat Choco Bars. Can't you just get the block the character is facing? No, because the character could be facing away, first of all. But secondly, it's kind of complicated because one of those squares could have a wall in it, right? So, like, yeah. Okay. So the thing is, we want to round okay. I have a function somewhere that I could call. It's called something like int delta or whatever. And I don't know if that's exactly what I want. It's not called int delta. What is it called? I have something that either rounds to the nearest integer floats or the nearest, integer valued floats. Wrap delta, wrap delta, wrap delta. I don't want that. Background, no. Exact. I don't know. Exact unit. That doesn't sound right. You got your exact unit right here. Ah, it is exact unit. Okay. So basically we do everything to +1, -1, right? So I kind of just want to do that to simplify this. Okay. So we're going to say delta okay. So we're just getting rid of numerical error and stuff. Numerical error, so we can compare against 1, -1, etc. So, right, you can't compare floating point numbers for equality. Broadly speaking, it's a bad idea. In some cases where you set it up fine, it's a perfectly reasonable idea. And this is one of those cases. Because we know this is still a float, but it'll be, every component will be +1, -1, or 0. And so we can compare against +1 or whatever, right? Okay. So here we could say get theta is x is a float, y is a float to S32 or something, right? And we're going to do this. Return wrap degrees y comma x. We're just given a nice name for that. Okay, so this is get theta of delta.y, delta.x. But the whole reason I did this is because I don't think I want to do this way. Okay, I want to do the following. I want to say if delta.y and delta.x, it's diagonal. So let's do some reasoning to figure out which one is closer. Okay, so we're going to say point A is position plus point A dot x plus equals delta dot x. Let's call it point x and point y, because we're thinking, do we go along the x offset or the y offset? It's closer to the direction the player is facing, disqualifying any that are filled by walls, etc. Okay, point y is position, point y dot y plus equals delta dot y. Okay, so if is wall at manager point x, then dist x plus equals penalty. Do not pick. Do not pick. Okay. So I'm just going to, so that I don't have to have dovetailed if statements all over the place, we're just going to apply this penalty. So if there's a wall there, if there's a wall there, we disqualify that one. If there's walls in both, then that's not good, right? But we kind of, I guess we sort of check that. Actually, do we? Hold on. Hold on. So with the old code, right, this is still running anything before we change because we haven't recompiled. What if it's like there? I bet this guy will still aggro if I go diagonal to him. Yeah. We don't really want that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So we need to detect if both of them are disqualifying. If dist x is less than dist y, we don't really need the point, I guess, right? We need best theta. If dist x is less than dist y, best dist equals dist x, best theta equals theta x, otherwise y. T minus 1, 90 seconds. Oh boy, we better get ready. I gotta paste my y's, and then if best dist is less than do not pick, then we do something. Okay, let's get it going. Oh yeah, okay.
Turn right back on, and then
here we go.
Just before ignition, they will shoot out a stream of liquid oxygen.
I better pour my tea.
So watch those vents and watch for the big flasher raptors at the bottom here. About 30 seconds to go here. All systems still good.
Oh, they're pulsing, which is a good sign.
Game faces.
Here we go.
How would you like to be the guys who live stream this for 15 hours?
And liftoff. Look at that. She's up. Wow! I think that blew the microphone out there. Sorry about that. I think it did too. Look at that.
Here we go.
And into the clouds. Yeah, and we've got a massive dust cloud there, but it is already disappeared. It does not look like Jack or Mary have any eyes on it, and I don't think that microphone is happy at all. Yep, no visibility on any of those cameras, so let's look from the vehicle itself, courtesy of SpaceX.
And they have a camera on the flap. Did you catch that?
I did
They
not
have a
yet,
camera
no.
on the flap. But yeah, this is cool. Wait till they flip back to it. It was very.
All right, I'm
briefly
having my
visible.
celebration chocolate.
There. Wow.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
Oh, so cool.
So that is Starship SN-15 on its flight right now. 1 minute up. A little bit of discrepancy between the cameras. There's those Raptors looking like they're doing their job. No visibility from the ground, just a big dust cloud on the ground, and you can see the clouds down the bottom of the skirt there. But SN-15 is on its way.
And coming up in a few seconds, we'll have the first engine shut down. That's how they throttle down the vehicle, because Raptor cannot throttle too low. They just simply shut off one engine, and the other two take over. That should be coming up in a few seconds here.
The rocket has blue
Video
screened.
feed from the vehicle has frozen.
Have you
Yep.
tried turning it off and then on
Back,
again?
But that is, you can see the timer moving, so you know the video is not frozen on their actual output, but the video being downlinked from the vehicle is obviously frozen right now.
So I know both Jack and Mary are waiting to get eyes on it, but that cloud deck is just preventing any visibility right now.
What is good news is that the flight is
Coming up at
proceeding
T+2
nominally. Right.
I can't take these commentator guys.
minutes. We appear to have frozen continuing to perform, and we've got shutdown on engine 3 on time. T plus 2 minutes 40 seconds while we're trying to regain video from the vehicle. We continue to ascend. We have just passed the 8-kilometer point in flight. Everything continues to look good on Starship 15. Coming up on 3.5 minutes into flight, we're approaching the 10-kilometer altitude. We'll begin to hover here. We've had engine number 2 shut down on time. We'll now be moving into the hover with one engine, and then in a little bit we will begin the flip over to horizontal position and begin our descent, where hopefully a ground camera will be able to bring us live views of the flight. Just past T plus 4 minutes into flight. We've got the views back from the Raptor engines. We get T plus 4 minutes 34 seconds. While we're working to regain video, it looks like we've got a shot looking back at the flaps on Starship. We're in the horizontal descent phase now. We're passing 6 kilometers. Now, a reminder, phase that's coming up as we get ready for landing, we will light 3 Raptor engines, flip the vehicle from horizontal to vertical, If things look good, we will shut down one Raptor engine and then possibly a second one and land on a single engine in the landing zone. 5 minutes into flight, Raptor continuing to descend. We're coming up on 3 kilometers altitude.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's doing something.
And we have ignition. Starship heading back to the landing zone.
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, still have camera. You guys can't see because my face is over the little camera there. Wow. Okay. GG's. Now, they landed once before, and then it fell over and blew up after landing because it landed too hard. So we have to see.
And Starbase
This
Flight
time.
Control has confirmed, as you can see on the live video, we are down. The Starship has landed. We're going through the safing sequence in the flight computer right now. We'll be back in a moment.
It's too bad we didn't get to see that one better. Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, last several flights that I watched, they had ground cameras that were able to track it really well. I don't know if they just had super dust cloud prevented. Like, maybe if they don't have tracking early in the flight, they don't know where to look for it. You know? It's overcast. I mean, it's not that overcast. Oh, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, last time they had a fire like this burning and then it blew up. So, like...
Well, if you've just joined us, you missed a great flight. Right now, we have successfully landed in the landing zone, right on the concrete. You can see we do have a small fire at the base of the vehicle. Not unusual with the methane fuel that we're carrying as we continue to work on the test vehicle design. You may be able to see water going on the pad from the water cannons. But again, Starship 15, powered by 3 Raptor engines, we have successfully launched it from our facility in South Texas, landed after a routine flight where we shut engines down on the way to 10 kilometers, executed the horizontal unpowered descent, and then we got some great views of the engines lighting up as we came down for a landing at a nice slow velocity onto the concrete landing pad.
Yeah, NASA also
The past
has...
2 weeks have been full of accomplishments by the SpaceX team. We've had the incredible launch of the Crew 2 astronauts on the Crew Dragon Resilience. We've had the first nighttime landing and recovery of the 4 astronauts on Crew Dragon Endeavor's flight last Saturday night, and 2 successful flights of Falcon 9 in the past 7 days, each carrying 60 Starlink satellites.
So there's also the Space Launch System being developed by like Boeing and Lockheed Martin or whoever that is now. ULA. It's a giant turd. So we'll see if they even launch it this year. It looks like the fire is not getting more intense here.
With the views here of Starship 15, thank you for joining us here at SpaceX, and have a good day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they cut that a little too soon. Like, it could still blow up, guys.
Right now, even
Let's go back
Losing
to the
pressure
teenage
here or something. That
commentators.
fire is still going on the other side, really visible
Yeah.
on this camera here.
Do have hoses on each side of the pad, so they may be
Yep.
switching.
Mary's got a great angle on it out there as well. You can definitely see that fire continuing on.
Or maybe they're trying to coat the landing pad in water so the fire can't spread if it is leaking liquid methane, just to contain
Yeah.
it in that area.
Yeah, I feel like they came down too
I
hard
know I'm
again
switching
and they have a
around some.
leak.
I'm keeping an eye on this,
That's
but
okay,
Like
yeah.
this wouldn't, like the caster guy was
there.
like, oh, that's not unusual with
The
methane
water
rockets,
doesn't
but
seem
that's
to
like
be reaching where the fire is anymore. And I only
excess
see that
propellant.
one suppression
There wouldn't be
system
this
active.
much. Like that you spewed
Yeah.
onto the ground during landing, there just wouldn't be this much.
And
But
you can
again,
see
a six.
venting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
I was just saying, we see some venting from the nose cone right now. Specifically,
Yeah.
they're bringing the header tank down from flight pressure, but as well from the main tanks. They've been venting for the past few minutes. They're just releasing pressure so they don't overpressure. Just keep the vehicle stable.
Yep.
It's pretty weird that they landed on less than all three engines. He said two or maybe one.
And just
I guess depending on the
around
acceleration
here.
that it comes down.
Yeah.
Fire's still going
So
down
like
smaller
that
than
means you
before,
have excess
but it
thrust
seems
for a
like they're still
softer landing
spraying
if the
area
problem is
around
it's
it.
landing too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's some big vents from the sides there.
Maybe relieving some of that pressure might keep the methane from spurting out of there.
Well, if you
Yeah.
can lower the pressure in the tanks, you don't have a big pressurized vessel that could blow, right? You could still ignite the
Right.
methane, but it could reduce significantly your debris impact
Right.
area. But again, you can see the water cannons going even more.
Okay, it looks
sharply
like it's
now,
not gonna blow
over
up.
toward where we were seeing the fire on a slightly different view here. But for those of you who are just joining us, because I am seeing our viewership climb quite extensively
Chris.
here. Yeah.
Look.
Oh,
I don't see the flames anymore.
Oh,
That's good. That's good.
This is the-
If the fire is, whew.
Yeah. This is the
Now-
camera that we
now-
had the flames visible in. I don't see those flames anymore. Massive venting from Starship.
Yeah, that's good. If the fire is out, that's very good, because what I wanted to say is, for those of you who are joining us, because I know our viewership is rapidly increasing here as we continue to follow the post-landing activities of Starship SN15. SN15 launched around 5:25 p.m. Central Time, ascended to 10 kilometers.
All right, well, that's
reoriented
good
to its
news.
Bali-
That is the best Starship flight to date. It is still not the full size of the eventual rocket, right? But you know, it makes sense to get it working at smaller than full size and then keep going. GG's on that. Now they only need to make it human rated and land on the moon. Yeah, well. It's the full size of that stage. Yeah, I mean, I guess for landing, they would only be landing that stage separately, right? So I guess that is a fully reasonable landing test. For that stage. Okay. So let me go back to this thing. So we're going to say best theta there, right? Okay. Else, we're going to call this guy get theta. Delta dot x delta dot y. All right. So this is going to be a float All right. And then we need these theta x and theta y. Right. Right. I shouldn't sandwich those in the middle. That's kind of unreadable. Okay, so we figure out the point. We figure out the theta. Is there a wall? You know, we actually only need this down here. And we could squinch those together again. We only need this in here. Okay. We also need a little bit of a bias. Actually, we want this here because okay. So if so we're going to say previous if wrap degrees of theta x m dot theta x minus m dot theta current is less than I mean, it really should be the theta target. Except, fuck. Okay, that's a little weird. Dist x .1. We don't have dist x and dist y, do we? Okay. Let's just do this. Okay. This is a lot more stuff than I was hoping, but okay. So this doesn't even do, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't compile, yeah. Best theta is theta x, number mismatch. I guess. Oh, wait, that's because, okay. It's because of this. Okay. This actually should handle the diagonal thing by not aggroing, but it still won't quite do the turning preference that we were going to do. Why are you aggroing? Oh, I guess because the aggro is separate. We need to somehow return failure so that he doesn't frickin' aggro. Okay, that's separate. I need to write down things. So we are correctly detecting that we don't want to turn him. But yeah, okay. And so if we do this, he should turn south. All right. And if we do this, he should turn west. So that part works. I think that probably worked with the old code. I don't know. I didn't see the thing that did that, but now though, what we actually want to make work is what if they're both open and does he go there versus there, right? Okay. So what we do is we say forward of the player okay. I kind of don't like how decoupled this is. This is going to be annoying to try to do that don't aggro thing the way this is structured, but let's not worry about that yet. Let's do the preferential direction. So we want to say from here, when we pass this, we want to say okay. Okay, so now we still have prefer whichever direction is closest to the square in front of the guy. Okay, so in front is guide at position plus rotate dot x equals 1 by guide at orientation. No, frick. Do we have a 2D rotate like that? Okay, it has to be this because we don't care about his interpolated direction anyway. So okay, I did this wrong. Okay. So that's just letting us prefer whichever one is like more toward the front of the guy. Oh, if enemy, this isn't called guy. Okay. So this rotate, I don't think we have that exact function. I mean, here's what we do. So we get dot z equals 1 and right? I do that. Oh yeah. Oh, and then we don't. Why does it think this is vector 2? Why didn't that work? That's a bug. Okay. Possible overloads. Wrap distance. Oh, manager. Okay. Great. What do I think about Game Builder Garage that's coming for Switch? I have no idea what that is, but like, I'm sure that you can make better games on a PC than you can make on a Nintendo Switch. Like, as a basic hardware, absolutely. Now, if the software is really good, hey, check it out. Hey, look at that. Look at that. That's what I want to see. If the software is really good, maybe that can overcome the platform. But like, it's not like things like a video game console or, you know, an iPad or a phone. They're just not content creation platforms. They're just not, right? That said, you can overcome that. Like, so like Dreams on PS4 is probably better. Like, I actually haven't played it yet. Embarrassing to say, but it's probably better than any equivalent thing on the PC. But if you had an equivalent thing on the PC, that'd be pretty good, right? Seeing other programmers spend a significant amount of time going, wait, WTF? What do you mean? What do you mean? You don't get why it should be turning left? Because if you assume, if the monster thinks you're going to keep, you're more likely to keep going in a straight line than you are to turn, right? It's just to give a reason to prefer one square over the other. Otherwise, they're both the same, and it's kind of weird. All right? Like, this makes a lot more sense to me. SN15 has not blown up. That is good news. Good news. Maybe our civilization has not yet completely failed. I mean, who would you rather be in charge of the future of humanity? People who are launching those rocket ships, or the San Francisco School Board who votes to eliminate, to shut down merit-based enrollment in schools, right? Like, or like what? Who was it? Which school district is it that is removing? Was it DC? Like shutting down all accelerated or gifted style programs because they are. No, I don't think. Was it California? I sort of stopped tracking this stuff because it's all. I'm going to go crazy if I actually pay too much attention. Oh, no, you're right. It was California. Because somebody made the astute comment that, right, this was the education plan for California for next year. Someone made the astute comment that now nobody graduating from high school will be able to get into Caltech, which requires calculus. No, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's weird to me too, because it seems like the modern like cultural left-wing position is that state-run education is supposed to be really good, and you're not supposed to go to private school, and you're not supposed to, you know, teachers are superheroes and all this stuff. But then they also don't want the schools to be good. Like, I don't know what, like, I mean, they wouldn't put it that way, but that's what's happening. They're making the public schools worse, and anyone who can afford it will just move to private. I agree. Like, I do not have kids. If I did, I would not be sending them to public school at this point. Absolutely not. No effing way. Casey needs my help with Satisfactory. Why is he playing Satisfactory on frickin' Wednesday? It's a work day, bro. Most teachers are just in survival mode. Oh, I'm sure, right? This is not teachers' fault. Like, schools are being driven into the ground with stupidity, and they have been for decades. Like, I did not like going to school, but it looks to me like school has been made consistently worse since my days. So, like, I just feel bad for anyone who's in public school now. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. All right, so question is, have these aggro rules broken any of our existing levels? I could go test those. Do these aggro rules produce expected outcomes? Such as, for example, getting rid of all your advanced math classes in high school producing expected outcomes. I think those outcomes are very predictable. You don't get why calculus seems to go before linear algebra. I don't know. Like, you can't teach kids everything, right? So you kind of have to pick. And I don't know. You know, I sort of feel like the way that both geometry and just like, you know, there's whatever the one or two classes are that's like, here's us plotting parabolas and whatever, like all that stuff is kind of wrong and doesn't scale. Like all this like y equals mx plus b shit of how to graph a line, which like I'm sure we had that on at least 2 different semesters is what it was mostly about. Like that doesn't scale past 2D anyway, so why are you doing that? So I feel like if that part was like better done, then linear algebra could be in there a little bit, you know? Your high school, you could choose calculus 3 or linear algebra. Well, my high school did not have a linear algebra as far as I remember. I don't know, so maybe some high schools are better. Like the whole y equals mx plus b thing is so messed up. It's like, look, yes, make the point that you could solve for y if you care about where something crosses the y-axis. Hey, you could also solve for x if you care about where something crosses the x-axis. Do that. It's like 1 week in the class, and then you go on to other things. Yeah, the California proposition is currently under public review, so I'm hoping that a lot of concerned parents will make a big stink. I would make a big stink if I didn't think it was quite possible I was going to move out of California anyway, because it seems kind of weird to get involved with that if I'm just bailing on this shit show of a state anyway. Y equals mx plus b applies to linear algebra. No, it does not. No, it is useless. It doesn't even work for vertical lines. Y equals mx plus b has a singularity for fucking vertical lines. It's terrible. Do not teach it. It's not like the way it was taught to me was like, this is the slope intercept form and it's the standard way of drawing a line. It's terrible. You don't draw lines that way. The correct equation of a line is ax plus by plus c equals 0. That is what should be taught. Anything that is not that, you're just teaching them the wrong thing. I'm angry about this because I had to unlearn y equals mx plus b and figure that out by myself when I was first doing video game stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't seem to like solve these problems. Like rotation is confusing me. And of course it does. If you can't rotate past a singular, like it's just like instead of preparing me for the problems that I would later try to solve, the y equals mx plus b thing put a ceiling on what I was able to understand. And I had to break through that ceiling myself. And I'm angry about that. Like it wasn't that bad because like, look, I figured it out and there's enough like higher level references, but like you should be teaching people stuff that continues and helps them go further. You shouldn't be teaching people stuff that like keeps them closed in. I think they do it to avoid having X and Y on the same side. Why? Why? That's dumb. That is not a thing. It's confusing. No, it's not. Like, if it's confusing in some framework, that framework is wrong. Yeah, no, I understand that that's not you justifying it. It's just, I think it's all dumb. These people are, whoever designed that curriculum is fired. Y equals mx plus b is taught so the lowest common denominator can memorize something. But like, why? Like, who cares where something crosses the y-axis? Like, there's a little bit of application for that. But it's made as though it were a really big thing. Like, it's a huge deal. Like, everybody cares where things cross the y-axis. Or the x-axis? Wait. Y equals 0? I don't know. Like, who gives a shit? It's really, it's kind of a bunch of nonsense, right? Teacher taught you the MX method and said don't use it. Yeah, I mean, they probably have to teach it because it's on standardized tests too, right? You guess they dumb it down so that there's a chance that more people pass. I don't think it's dumbed down. I think it's more complicated and annoying. Like, it's not harder to understand the AX plus BY thing. It really isn't. In fact, it's easier to understand. Because you go right by A and up by B. Very easy. You can step along it yourself, whereas the divide doesn't work all the time. Or it produces very large, hard to deal with numbers. Like, it's absurd. Remember the whole y equals mx plus b thing to teach transforming functions like y equals m, x minus 4 plus b, but you can do that in the other thing too. It's all teaching to the test. Yeah. I mean, back in my day, though, there was less teaching to the test. Like, I'm pre-Common Core or whatever it was called, right? So things were not... People were still like, we're preparing you for the SAT. But, like... It wasn't as crazy as it is now, I don't think. Wouldn't a vector description of a line be clearer? But that's what AX plus BY plus C is. The A and B are the X and Y components of the vector. That's why it's such a good representation. Because it extends to other things that you later want to do. Okay. So let's go to our levels. Let's try it. I don't know why debug build is taking a lot. We must have an assert like in a loop somewhere. Uh-oh. Yeah, this changed. All right, let's just try the next one. Really? Okay. So either these are breaking for a good reason or a bad reason, right? Okay, so that one's fine. What's going on here? So like this one, this was the pre-aggro one. Oh, right. So it's probably just that I walked this way to leave, because before this wouldn't have turned him, and now it does, which makes sense. Like this is better, because if I attack, I'm going to go there, right? I bet that's what it was. So let me just try re-recording. So we're going to pre-aggro. We're going to go out this way. Actually, I should start the beams here so that you have to like go out like that. Anyway, so we're going to go there. We're going to go pre-aggro. That's probably fine as it is. So then this guy's going to go there, and then yeah. So it's probably things like that on all of these. Let's find out. Can I remember how to do this? So the deal with this one was, I think I actually wanted to put the downer here? Question mark. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Because, like, You don't need the third thing to rotate the fucking beam. In this case. I kind of wrecked my level. Y equals mx plus b is simpler because it has a single representation for every line. That is false. That is false. Because the vertical line is not representable. You can't even represent all the lines. With ax plus by plus c, if you want a single representation, you just normalize a and b. It's fine. This kind of wrecks my level, honestly. Although it makes sense, like, I think it makes more sense for him to turn this way. That's better in this case because, yeah, if you attack him, you're going to be in that square. It just fucks up the level, doesn't it? Let's see how it feels. So we're going to go there and... Oh, well, we don't even fucking need that, right? Which I get... Maybe that makes the level better. Oh, no, you do need it. Right, you do still need it because otherwise the thief becomes the closest and rotates it back. Yes. Okay, that's why this is still a good level, actually. It might be a little bit harder now. Okay. No. I'm not bummed anymore. I was bummed for a second. Now I feel good. So we do need this one here still because we need the dude to lock onto this. I hope I hit record. I think I did. Ah, fuck. Okay, so... Actually, no, that's actually... See, this one's weird because now I get the rotate for free. I don't know if I like that. Anyway. See, it was a more deliberate level before. I don't like it. I think current state is possible with 2. Yeah, maybe it is, because, like... Right? Like, if we just do that the other way. Like, if I do this... That rotates Oh, well. But, like, that kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? Whoops. I'm getting my objects too close to each other. All right. So, no. I'm just going to put that down there. And then we just need to 180 this one. Yeah, like I don't super like it. But, and it's a big but, maybe we just change it a little somehow. What do I do here, people? So we have sort of this issue. So on the one hand, I designed this level with the previous rules, and I didn't take into account how much it was going to change with the new rules. I do think the new rules feel better, and maybe that just means I have to throw these levels away, which is sad, because we did them last night, and we felt so good about it, and we even have co-designer credit on them for people. Why is this taking so long to load? Oh wait, because I didn't load. So there's all those things. It's just not as good of a level now. Actually, is this one even, like this one might be, no, because you can't. Okay, so the thing is, I can get this guy to turn this way now, which I couldn't do before. But that actually doesn't seem exploitable. Because you can't use him to rotate one of these because you can't get it back off him once you put it on him. So this level is still fine, and in fact it plays back fine. This one broken. Wait, did we? No, this one's not broken. That one still works. It's just Yeah, this one still works. So that's not too bad. These two don't work. And that makes me sad. Because I like these levels that we did this morning. I mean, they work. They technically work. They just feel it's too easy to rotate the guy is the problem. Oh, you know what? You know what we could do? So I was going to say we can't cut this out because you can't drop the thing down, but actually you could still drop, like, now you still need to drop it to aggro the, oh, whoops. Like, this might be less good. But, and it's a big but. Whoops. So now I can rotate the guy. It maybe doesn't feel as satisfying, but I can. It's a little weird, but it's not that weird because it's weird for the monster to be facing east here, right? How does the compilation of shaders work? I mean, it depends. But yeah, like generally. So either the shaders, the compiler. So in OpenGL, for example, there's a shader compiler in the graphics driver, which is absolutely a bad idea. Don't ever do that. In like, I don't know, like in Vulkan and stuff, it's probably like it is on consoles where you compile ahead of time and you just upload the bytecode. I don't know though. I don't know. Vulkan is separate. Yeah. You absolutely want that. You want it to be separate and you compile it. Vulkan has an IR. Yeah. I mean, that kind of sucks, but. What if you made the monster's rotation not affect the beam's rotation? That is the entire point of all of these levels, and the fact that we are working on this is that the monster's rotation affects the beam's rotation. That is the entire thing we are doing. If that is not the case, then So, okay, let me just not be sad, and let me just assume that this is still fine. And that we are still okay with it. Well, I trapped my thief all of a sudden. That wasn't good. Let's get the thief out. So we're just going to do that. Then we're going to use that to do the things. The thing. So we're going to put that on there. That actually feels better in terms of this level because you don't casually run around and change his direction. Oh, but now we can't do it. Now it won't work. It will not work because the thief will become the closest and rotate it back. Maybe it works. See, maybe it works in a more glitchy way. It works if you put the thief there, and then you push the thing on his head. That might be better. I mean, not better than what we had before, but it's like, okay, that's interesting. So if we actually wanted to rotate in that direction, then we could put this one like here, right? And then this guy could be there. Well, the thief could be there. And then this guy becomes the closest, right? Okay. So that gives us one. Let's just get this out of the way. It feels, okay, on the one hand, it maybe feels slightly more fiddly. But on the other hand, the goblins feel way more responsive to like what the player is doing, right? So then here we just do the same thing twice. Right? So that's one. Whoops. And then the thief just goes back here, and then we do that again. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't feel too depressed about this now. It does feel responsive and funny for that. Oh, no! That's okay, though. We could, like, cut the corners off. Maybe we should put it out the middle? If we put it out the middle, then it could be just as far. Right? Which seems cool, and that would make the level more symmetric, right? The problem is there's enough stuff to just fill the gap now. So like we could make the hole even deeper. Actually, no, there's not, because you would have to walk over the monster and die, right? So there isn't enough stuff to fill the gap. Yeah, it is cooler to teleport over the monster. That is true. This isn't so bad. The fact that you can use that as a launching point makes me less sad about the level. Diagonals causing the enemy to turn seems weird. But like what? So by turning, the enemy is kind of anticipating, like he's trying to fight you, right? So like, why is that weird? Like, if I'm here, he's like facing me, right? If I'm here, well, if I'm here facing away from him especially, it's like, if I come move toward him, I'm going to be down here. And like, he's waiting for me, right? This is actually better because if he was facing right like he was before, then when you drop down this way, it's suddenly he turns and then attacks. And now he's like anticipating the attack position. So I think that's better. And like, he's following me. And that makes sense. The monster turns the beam when you push it onto it. Yeah, but that's what makes sense according to the puzzle movement rules. How do you know if he will look up or right? What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Do I expect anyone to attempt to jump down? Yeah, I mean, one reason why I'm leaving space down here is so you can kind of like noodle around down here and do stuff. You know what we actually could do with this new design? I feel like this is probably not exploitable. Because you would have to, like, to avoid the monsters, you would have to go around 1, 2, 3, 4. You would need like 5 objects, right? And we only have 4. Yeah, it depends on where you're facing. You might have missed the part of the stream where we programmed that. That's what we were doing like an hour ago. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like this. I mean, it's new. It's a little weird because it's new, but I feel like if people are used to the rules, like, let me go back. Hold on. Hold your horses. So let's go to Heroes 1-1. Or no, not 1-1, 2-1. I might want to make a release build. So like this is like when you first encounter the dudes. Let's get in the mood, everybody. Let's get in the mood. Let's turn up the desktop volume. I didn't realize you guys had audio the whole time. He's like, none shall pass, and I'm like, I'll go around. Thank you. Wait, why did it record? What? Okay, there's something about the recording state variable that's like not getting reset. Okay. Is that last turn? What last turn? You have to understand when you're typing Twitch chat that, like, I have no idea what you're talking about by the time I read it. Like, that just is better. Like, this is more responsive. Like, see the guy south of me? He's facing that direction, right? And then he turns this way to, like, intercept the way that I'm going. It's just better, I think. Like here, he's going to turn, right? I like this better as the way that they respond. Yeah, and like the thing is, by the time, so the levels that we're working on right now are like 500 levels into the game. And this that we're playing right now is like 30 levels into the game, right? So you'll have had a lot of experience dealing with the goblins prior to this, but you won't have really known that the way they face is important. That's sort of the surprise. It's like you'll have seen them turning toward you like this the whole game, right? Anyway. So like even here, it's like... They turn really fast. We need like a turning animation for them. Right now they just sort of rotate in place. So some of the lighting on these levels is way off, by the way, because like we haven't recalibrated them since we revamped the renderer. I don't like that being pushed animation. It's a little weird. No, none of these levels are final. It's taking us a while to load because we're in debug build and it's like processing assets or something, which is extra slow in debug build. Oh no, it sent me back to the overworld. Anyway. Do puzzles that require lots of thought and tweaking turn out better than puzzles that sort of click much earlier in the process? No. The ones that click earlier in the process are probably on average better. Like if I have to work really hard to make something work, that's not necessarily that good. There are some exceptions. So like the light bridge puzzle in The Witness took a lot of thought to set up, but is one of my favorite puzzles that I made in that game. What about making some monsters blind? No, we don't need to add any more monster variants to the game because we've got so much possibility that there's just more than we can follow up on already. So adding more kinds of monster behavior to make new levels is not really necessary or desired right now. What we're just trying to do is take the behavior that we have and fill out the interesting consequences of that. How's the DX12 work going? So DX12 is as far as we can do it without deciding like how our cross-platform shader loading and material system goes. Because like, right, there's one question of like, how are you going to do the shaders if it was only DX12? But it's like, oh, how are we going to do all these platforms and like not rewrite our shader code 17 times? So like, that's the thing that we're working on right now. And then once we have that, then it's like, okay, we'll plug DX12 into that. I need another drink. Oh, it's way past 4. I need to double check. I'm meeting up with someone at some point today. But, uh-oh. Okay, I may have to go soon because a friend of mine visiting town, but we're still going for the moment. Why is moving to DLX12 worth it if you're going to have OpenGL for other platforms? We may not ever ship OpenGL. In fact, I doubt we will. That's very presumptuous to say we're going to have OpenGL for other platforms. Fuck OpenGL. macOS, it's not really supported on macOS. Yeah. Anymore. OpenGL is deprecated on macOS and basically everywhere else. What's the better alternative to OpenGL? Literally any other graphics API. Okay, let's go back to, whoops, wrong window. So did I record this? I guess not. So let's record this. Okay. Hopefully, I just goofed in some basic way. Whoops, I already screwed up. Okay, so let's not trap the thief. Let's get this out here. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Okay, so the theory was, again, if I want to rotate it, oh, we can't actually go this way, right? Because of that. Or no. What did I do? I didn't mean to reset. I think, okay, so first of all, I do recall we actually wanted to go this way because that worked better for what we were doing. And I guess it was like pre-rotate by putting the thief there, right? And then this guy pushes the thing. And then we get it off. Okay, and then with this one, we need to 180 it. Which again, so we can't, like we need to pre-rotate and then pull off like that every time. Whoops. And then pre-rotate and pull off. The double rotate is funny. Okay. And then that's where we leave it actually, because the plan, Stan and Marianne, is to do this. Oh, I didn't move the thing. I didn't save the level, guys. That's... I never saved the level. That's probably why the playback didn't... No? All right, well. GG's. Let's replay it for the 17th frickin' time. Yeah, if you want to succeed in the games industry, save the level. That is absolutely true. Okay, so we go here. We go here. We go here. We go there. We go there. We go there. We whoops, we pull off. We go there. Let's get that gem out. Whoops. Go here, there. Pull off. Go there. Pull off. Whoops, don't do that. There. Whoa. Right, okay, I screwed up the positioning because we need that there for you to be there. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, great. Great. We're in debug build, so it takes a long time to run the test. So this level then, the difference here was we didn't want to use, we wanted to use the double beam. So we'll see if we can solve it still after doing that same change. Okay, so let's just try and, we want to modify the level. So if it's going to be like this again, it's 1, 2. It's like literally out there, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. It's a little bit. It's a little bit of a obvious that you're supposed to jump from that square, but that's fine. Okay, so the deal is, first we have to turn off the power before we can do anything. All right. So now, Thief is gonna pull this here, and the idea is we want to go out far enough to aggro the guy. It's not clear to me how this is going to work, so maybe I shouldn't be recording, but you know, okay, so Thief goes out to aggro the dude. This guy pushes. Okay. And then, congratulations, we rotated it the wrong way. But if we had done all that on the other side, we would have win. Because we'd have an up, left, right. Oh. Yeah, okay. No, this is kind of interesting. The right, or the right facing one, it's a little bit more interesting because the right facing one has to be put on the monster. Oh, and the up, no, we can't win. This is not possible. This is not possible. Okay. How about, because the problem is the up facing one has to intersect the north or south facing one. And if I'm standing here, there's nowhere for it to be. Right? We could like put extra little prongs on this level so it's the same as this level. Or we could just move this in by 1. Up, down, left. No, but the up, downs, like if the jumping off point is this, you can't have up or down. That's the point. Without expending one. Is a roguelike puzzle game a thing? Question mark. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Do we have any kind of CI/CD pipelines? What we have is we check in the code and the build server tells us if it's fucked up. Like, again, this people should not have an excitement about building pipelines for things because that's more complexity and more process and more things that you have to maintain and keep working and all that. So you want the simplest possible thing that helps you do your job. How does it know if it's fucked up? It compiles it. Do you have any comprehensive resources to learn deep about this topic? The entire internet. What about stacking 2 on the bottom square and 1 on the square in front of the monster? I don't know what the bottom square is. 1 on the square in front of the monster. 2 on the bottom. How would you put 2 beams on the same square? You guys, this is not possible to understand the suggestions. What platforms are we targeting? It's unclear. Just whatever makes sense. Why do I use SVN over Git? I mean, I just must not understand computers. Okay, since I may have to go soon, let's at least get a working version of this level, and then we'll decide if we want to make it better. Make it butter. Oh. Wait, did I don't even know if I recorded. Okay, I definitely recorded this time. We're going to do... Oh, don't trap the thief. Get out, thief. Let's push that. I have a phobia of pushing things against walls from not having thieves in levels, but we have the thief in this level, so it's fine. So if I go here and there, and honestly there, that's kind of what we need. And then there. And then, so if we do this, well, we want to get the thief into position. Do this, go there. Thief is aggroing the guy. This guy can come out here, bump it onto the guy's head. it is now rotated north. Whoops. Which is what we want, except, of course, that we now need to get it off. Let me go turn off the power. Okay, so we have that. And then we have this. Uh-oh. Let me move this out of the way so the thief could go this way. And we have that. Okay. No. Oh, bad news. Okay, let's just say thief gets into position, then it goes, then it goes. Then, whoops. We could push the gem off, or we could just do this and go around. Okay, that's a workable level. It's kind of harder to think about sometimes than the other version because of the push on, rotate, pull off thing. I don't know. I kind of don't like it as much in isolation as the previous version. But maybe it's fine. Do I have any levels from the final game? I don't know. We're still adding them. Okay, so we have fixed the broken levels. This is great, right? So we have Aggro Witch, Aggro Double, Aggro Thief 2. I think I'm going to take a brain break and get ready to meet up with my friend. But this has been good. We've had 2 streams of 3 hours each of design today. Well, we had some programming in this one. Revised aggro rules. Revised. Now, so the status then, I guess we started out. We didn't really make new levels this stream, right? Okay. So we have Aggro Runaround, which is the one I tried that didn't ever work, but maybe it'll be different now. In an interesting way. Who knows? Aggro Triple was just the trying to line up. I don't know. We'll go back and try to do these. And even this one, which didn't have... this one was one that we made that worked, but the initial conditions were not interesting yet because I was tired last night. And like that could be broken now or something. There's a lot to do here. There's like more skipping stone style levels that I want to do. There's more things on this piece of paper. Oh my God. There's so much to do. But yeah, we're doing great. What is the stage of Benny testing? I don't even know. I haven't run one in a long time. Let's see if we can raid someone again. Maybe we can, maybe we cannot. Let's see. What do we got? Why is there not much programming viewership right now? Everyone's watching the space flights instead of the programming. Oh. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to know who to raid. It's hard to know. Help me do C++. D&D program development. Oh, it could be. Dynamic World. Oh, we just rated that dude. Can't rate him twice in a row. One more day on the fish game. What's the fish game?
From now, I don't like the other. I don't like those. I like the beets.
Okay,
The
yeah.
I mean,
juices.
You don't like the other one?
Beet and the coconut. No.
I don't think
They were
playing
alri- I mean,
World of
that one was
Warcraft
alright,
is a
and
good
the
thing
green
to
one's
do
definitely not.
Yeah.
while you're trying to
The
program.
green one tastes as much as I like mint, tastes a little too minty. That's like kale.
I have no idea what's going on in that stream. If you want to succeed in the games industry, don't confuse playing World of Warcraft with programming. Okay, I'm just looking. I'm trying to find. There's not a lot of viewership right now. Like usually you have to go further down the page before you hit numbers like 15, I think. What's going on? It's just Wednesday. Is Wednesday like a down day? What's happening? Everyone died of COVID today. Go on. What's this one?
96 is what it's supposed to be here. Oh, we're out of health.
All right, we're gonna do this because like I
Which
can't
is fine.
find anything else. Thank you everybody for coming by, and I'll see you later. Sometime, maybe late tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see.